Alright, welcome everybody. My name is Matt. This is the gaming corner. It's actually, the reason why it's called the gaming corner is I actually sit in the corner of my living room. So that's why it's called the gaming corner, in case you were ever wondering. But today, instead of a video game video, we're going to be doing something a little different. I recently just won off of shopgoodwill.com, which I'll put a link down in the description for if you've never been there. I won a Sega Genesis Model 2 off of there. Got it all for $20 with shipping and handling, because they do charge you for both of those. And it didn't come with a power supply, didn't come with controllers or anything, so I don't even know if it works. I haven't even tested it yet. But this is it. And I'm sure you can see on there, it is dirty as hell. So what I'm doing in this video is I'm going to be taking it apart. I'm going to be cleaning it. And that. I should probably test it to see if it works. I mean, I think that might be a good idea. So whenever I test out a new unit or even a new game, I never run the game. Wow, it got dark outside all of a sudden. I never run the game off of the original cart by itself. I always use, where did I put it? This thing right here. This is a, let's see if I can get better light up here now. Oh my god, I'm blowing out. That's okay. I don't mind being blown out. I use this right here. It's a Honeywell. All this is just a little adapter piece that allows me to play Japanese carts on my Genesis as long as they're not region locked. So I'm going to pop this inside the Genesis 2 first. Then we'll grab a game. We'll grab, what we got up here? Eternal Champions, and see if it works. As you can see, I got it sitting right over here, right next to my Model 1. Everything's in there. Hopefully the LED works. This is the controller I'll be using. So let's see. Ooh, no power. Alright, I need to see if I can find a different power connector real quick. The one I'm trying to use is actually for the 32X. It fits in there, but it's really loose. So I'm going to see if I can find a different power connector first to see if it'll power up. Alright, so unfortunately, I'm going to have to probably look for a Sega Model 2 power connector, because the 32X one fits in it, but it's really loose. Which, okay, I can deal with that. I can get it to power on if I hold it to the left. I can get it to come up and the red light will stay on, but I'm not getting a picture, and it could just be because it's dirty. I mean, this thing is dirtier than blue blazes, so we'll go for cleaning it first and we'll go from there. Alright, so the nice part about the Genesis, Model 2, Model 1, Sega CD and all that is they're only held together by good old Phillips. And on this one, there's only 4. There's one. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws in there. That's it. I already took the screws out, so this should come on up. Alright, with the fact that there's only 4 screws in here, should come up nicely. So let's find out. Gotta be careful of the perfect. So there's the top shell. Then in here there's 3 more Phillips screws to undo this, which I'm going to be taking that off of there. I'm going to pop these things on out too. And then if you can see this pretty good, let's see here. Move some of my stuff out of the way here. So something I recommend if you're ever working on consoles, get yourself a little magnetic screw holding thing. These are all computer screws that I just worked on a computer the other day. There are the 4 Genesis screws there. Those come in handy, you don't lose screws that way. Yeah, the inside of this thing is pretty dirty. This is actually a heat shield to help keep the Genesis, you know, cool and stuff. But yeah, it is dusty in here. So I'm going to remove the next set of screws, and I'm going to take off the heat shield. Alright, and there's the heat sink off of there, the heat shield. Let's get the other screws out there and come out. Alright, so let's get the board out. Okay, so for removing the board, it should only be the screw in here in the cartridge slot and this one, and the board should come out. And boom. Okay, here is the board. So that's the Sega board right there. Right, my camera's not focusing in very well, but I'm backing up some. So this part right here, this is where the Sega CD would connect. We will leave that on. So yeah, and now let me just check over the board, see if there's any like damage I can see on it. So that's for just being dusty as hell. I don't see anything. No resistors are blowing. No corrosion anywhere yet, but I will clean it all off to make sure. That is dustier than blue blazes on the top. This is the bottom of it. Oh, my Xbox shirt. That's the bottom of it, the other heat shield, which should just come right out. I can't see it being held in by anything. If that one comes out, let's save that. Boom, out that one comes. Just a lot of dirt and dust down there. Just a lot of dirt and dust in there. We have the Genesis Model 2, all the inserts and all that in some hot water. Soapy hot water, soaking for a bit so I can clean those off. And we have the motherboard out. And this motherboard, even though it's not focusing in properly, is extremely, extremely dirty. I'm going to be using 100% or 99%, whatever they call it, isopropyl alcohol, along with a toothbrush to try cleaning off some of this board. So here we go. Autofocus does not work very well on this camera. Okay, that all looks good. It is a lot cleaner looking than what it was. Bottom of the board looks really good, so now we'll kind of let this dry up a little bit. And I will go clean the rest of the Genesis off. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to go and clean the rest of the Genesis. Then I will test this again. I did order a new adapter for the Genesis Model 2. New plug-in adapter, so I do have that coming. Take about 4 days to get here, but gotta do what I gotta do. But for now, I'll go and clean up the rest of it. Clean off part of my desk here, because a lot of that dirt and crap flew all over my desk. And then we'll see. I'll test it if it works before putting it fully back together. I'll test it outside just like this, see if it turns on and everything. I missed the power button. Alright, so with that, let me go get the rest cleaned up and I'll be back. Alright, sorry about this. This is going to be a little bit of a voiceover. I didn't realize that somehow I muted my microphone during this part. But what I'm talking about here is I discovered what was wrong with the power. The little area where the power connects to, where it plugs in at, which I believe I show here at one point, the solder was broke. So I had to re-solder it back in. I believe I show it here because right there is the power going on into it, and I know my camera sucks, so you can see no power goes to it. I found out if you push it up, the power will stay on. So that gave me an idea what to look for. So I flipped the board on over, and I discovered that the power connector right there has 3 solder points. It's really hard to see the 3 because of how bad my camera is, but I kind of point them out a little bit. It's 3 right underneath my finger there. The one in the middle, which you can't really see in here, that is the one where the solder has become undone. So that one right there that I'm pointing at, the solder is undone on there, so it's not making a connection. So this is where the fun part came in for me. And is that it's not going to be easy what I have to do next. So what I end up doing next is something I have not done in probably 20 years. I bought a soldering iron almost a year ago now because I wanted to fix my Dreamcast and my Sega CD. They both need to have the batteries replaced. But I've been really too scared to do it because I haven't soldered anything in 20 years. So right there I'm trying to work on the soldering of it. I will say it was not a great job. It was kind of ugly for my first time in 20 years trying to solder. Don't know if I had the solder iron too hot or what, but you know, you do what you got to do here to see if it works. Now, I do mention, if my sound would have been on, if I would have realized that my microphone was muted, I do mention that, you know, I do have a degree in computer and electronic engineering. That's why I work in a warehouse, try to figure that out. And I do mention that when I got my degree in 2002, that at that point there weren't any really good paying jobs out there. I ended up getting stuck with every job I went to was only going to pay me $8 an hour. I was already making way more than that in the cable industry, so I stayed with cable. But here I go trying to get this soldering done. And it actually did turn out pretty good. Well, I will say pretty good is somewhat of an understatement. It turned out pretty good for what I was expecting. You know, I didn't short anything out. I didn't hit any other connectors. You know, this is part of the reason why I was glad this one was broke, is because I wanted to practice soldering again on stuff that didn't work so I can repair my Dreamcast and my Sega CD and not make any mistakes. So I do try to show what the solder looks like here in a minute, and you can kind of already see it up there. It looks like a big old glob of goo. But it didn't hit anything else. It is soldered on extremely well. It's extremely tight. So all in all, that's why I say, hey, I did a pretty good job. You can kind of see it there. It did not hit the other ones. So it became time to try and test the board again to see if I got it to work. Alright, so here we go. It's going to be time, the moment of truth. You can see the power cord right there that is off my 32X. So the 32X power cord, like I put in the beginning of this video, is the correct power cord. So the one I ordered on eBay, I actually didn't need 2 because I do have an extra 32X power plug. But I go ahead, I plug it on in, and I push the power button. And lo and behold, even though you can't really see it right there, it stayed on. It stayed on perfectly. So now I go look for a game. And I decided instead of using Eternal Champions, which is probably dirty, I decided to go with a different game altogether. And I still do the same thing. I take the... Oh, no, I did try Eternal Champions first. My fault. Eternal Champions still didn't power up. I need to clean the game. But I did realize I wouldn't see a picture anyways because I forgot to hook up the output. So I have to slide the Sega Master System out of the way a little bit because I got those cords tied in pretty tight. And move my soldering iron out of the way. Look at all that cat hair on my shirt, all because I decided to mess with my cat earlier this morning. Alright, we plug in the out for a picture. I tried out, and unfortunately I did not get a picture on Internal Champion, so I had moved to a different game. So I got everything set up right now so you guys will be able to see the game. Now all my units that are up here on my desk run back to a computer screen that I have on my desk, which is actually my main monitor. They all run through HDMI hookups and that. I decided to try F-15 Strike Eagle 2. Figuring I'll have a better shot at getting that game to work. So I go ahead, I pop that sucker on in. I hit the power button and I get the produced by license under Sega. And there you go. I have a working Genesis Model 2 now. The solder point worked perfectly. So I have no complaints now with my soldering that I did. It works. Plain and simple. Alright, so VoiceOver Me is going to be stopping here in just a few minutes because this is where I realized I forgot to unmute the microphone from earlier. So let's get back to the actual me talking while I was working on this instead of when I'm editing. Okay. So, now it is time to re-put back together the Sega Genesis Model 2. Now that I got the power working. So, let's get ready to do that. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the video footage I'll be putting together. I will kind of skip right ahead to it being together. And then we'll get another test out on it. Right, there we go. All back together. Might just wipe down the top a little bit more here, but a lot cleaner looking than what it was. Very nice. Alright, now for the test. Cartridge in. Power on. Look at that. We got it. It works. I don't believe it. Switch on over here so I can kick the sound in, make sure we got sound. Should have. Yep, I heard it. There we go. That's weird that's only running with one channel on this one, but that's okay. Let's play a little Mickey Mania. I honestly don't remember this game at all. Boom! Knocked the cat down. What's going on in there? Ooh, I grabbed something. Don't know what it was. It's been too long since I've played this game. But, boom! There we go. A working Sega Genesis Model 2. Alright, so my plan, as I move forward here, with the idea of fixing Genesis units and cleaning them and stuff like that, is I want to look at trying to, I'm not going to say mod them in the sense of like adding a triple bypass. I'm not doing that kind of junk or stuff. I know with the Model 2, it's actually a really good thing to do. That way you get the better sound from it and everything, but that's not what I'm going to try doing. what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy broken ones, like how this one wasn't listed as broken, but they weren't able to test it neither, Goodwill. And I'm going to repair them, and the mods I'm going to look at doing will be like a painting type of mod, you know, reskinning it with paint. Make sure it looks good, and then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to sell them. I'm also going to just fix them and sell them as they are, you know, once I get them back up and running. This one I will probably be hanging on to. So we'll see what goes on with that one. Because I did want a Model 2 Genesis, so I now have one. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry, like I said, my camera doesn't focus very well on stuff when I get it close like that. But, I hope you enjoyed it. Got to see me try to do something I haven't done in, what, 20 years? Actually pulled out a soldering iron and played with it. So, if you enjoyed this video, well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching it till the end because it was kind of long. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.